Okay. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Namaste. How are you all? I hope you all are doing well. So, today I have a guest who is a very close colleague or friend or mentor, Miss Pavitra. So she is a counseling psychologist. She's a body language expert. She comes on with so many unique courses. Like I was also her student. I did so many courses under her itself. So hi, namaste, Pavitra. How you are doing?
Namaste. Thank you so much. I am doing good. How are you?
Going great. I won't say good, but going great. So, Pavitra, say something about yourself. Like it would be more better that if you say something about so many courses as I know, but for the viewers to listen.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So, as you have already mentioned, we are in the process of conducting various courses and workshops on different topics on psychology. And as you have already mentioned about different other courses and things which I do, so I would just like to brief them once. So, one of the most important thing that I do is I work as an image consultant. Secondly, as we are already here and talking about psychology, so I'm also a psychologist. Particularly, I've done my specialization in counseling and family therapy. Along that side, I also work as a foreign language trainer, and I train people and I coach them in different languages. So, this is just a brief about me.
Yeah, and also she is the founder of Panchama by Pavitra. Definitely, I'm going to link all the social media handles and her contact number. So, Pavitra, as I was having a discussion with you regarding Bhagavad Gita, and I remember I did a Bhagavad Gita course from you itself. So, just out of curiosity, I just wanted to know, like, also I think my viewer, that what is equanimity in learning or something?
Yes, correct. So that's one of the, I think, most important thing that we should talk about at the moment, because when people normally talk about Bhagavad Gita, people just associate it with something which might be very old, ancient, which is not of much relevance to the present context. But rather, this is not true. So what exactly is true is that we can take many such inferences and stories from Bhagavad Gita and we can connect it in our daily lives as well, so that it can offer us some insight, some understanding of that. Now, let's come to the understanding of equanimity. So, equanimity is a very beautiful concept which even Bhagavad Gita talks about. And if I just explain this in a little layman perspective, it would be that it is a state of calmness, it's a state of mental peace, it's a state of emotional stability that we all want in our lives, of course, right? We all want that emotional peace, we all want that stability, we all want that calmness. So equanimity is just referred to that process, that area, that state of mind where you're absolutely stable, calm, and you are out of stress, which means that doesn't mean that you are not having any such stressful situations in your life, but you know how to deal with it. You know that you have to maintain a balanced sort of stability in the mind, and then you go about challenging and facing these difficult circumstances. So that is what is exactly equanimity.
Okay, so there would be a lot of questions like how to achieve this equanimity. So, as a therapist, what would be your perspective?
Correct, correct. So, to answer your question, I would first like to mention that I have written a book which is called as Speak Up, Stand Out, Weaving Your Personal Brand Through Words. So, this book will also give you some insight onto, because this book is an amalgamation of the language of psychology and plus small concepts of Bhagavad Gita, which we can connect in our everyday life right now. So, now, answering your question, what strategies and what tactics we can adopt to achieve equanimity in our lives? One of the most important thing I think is very important is being mindful where you are. So people assume that mindfulness is something where we have to spend like around 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes of a day, and we have to sit and we have to then be mindful of the activity. But it is not like that. I believe that mindfulness is something which can be done on the go as well. For example, if you are doing some household activity, or let's say you are doing some other activity of your choice. So at that moment also you can be mindful by just focusing on the moment, focusing on the activity that you are doing, and that in itself becomes a healing process for you. For example, many people say that I love cooking. Why? Because cooking gives me some sort of pleasure. It makes me feel happy, it makes me feel more calm. Some people say that I love drawing, painting, dancing because of the same reasons. So why is it so? The only reason is because in all of these activities like cooking, drawing, painting, dancing, you try to achieve equanimity, which is called balance. So which means we try to, our body also strives to be in a more balanced state. We try to be out of these stressful situations, especially at the moment. And that is where we, look for these activities like, do cooking or dancing or painting or singing, because we try to find equanimity in these. But just in order to have your time saved, you can also avoid trying doing these activities, but just be in the moment, be mindful of what you are doing, and just stay in the moment, let it flow. So equanimity can be achieved very easily.
Okay, now to draw a thought from you said you wrote a book, like Speak It Up or Speak It Out. So throw some light on that. Like, what is the book all about, and why did you came up with such tagline or the name of the book?
Yes, yes. So when I was thinking in my mind about that, okay, what exactly should be the main plot or the main theme of the book, so I landed up to a concept called psycholinguistics. So I'll just take you from there. So psycholinguistics typically talks about how your brain functions when you are into language. So for example, let's say if we are talking right now in English language, so how my brain functions, what is the area or the part of the brain which is very active or which is activated the time when I am speaking in a certain language. So because for every language, for example, we all know many other languages also. We have our own languages that we speak at our houses, which are called as mother tongues. You might have yours, I might have mine. So we all have different languages with different people with different works of frame in life. So at each point in time, our brain works very differently, is what is the concept of psycholinguistics. And not only this, when you try to learn something different, for example, when we try to learn, let's say, something like a different language or a different activity or a different skill, then what is the improvement of the activation in the brain at that moment is what this book is based upon. And like I have already mentioned, the title Speak Up and Stand Out, because we want that everyone who reads the book, who is able to purchase the book, is able to understand that how we can make a difference in your life. For example, how we can make you feel stand out from the crowd. That is what is the objective, and that is what is the end goal. That is why it says speak up and stand out, weaving your personal brand through words, because words is what we consider as the most fundamental and the basic principle by which we can communicate with one another. For example, here we are using words only, and then we talk about the non-verbal actions like gestures, postures, etc. But then words is something which we talk about. So yes, this book is all about that. And like I said, I have included certain insights and concepts from Bhagavad Gita as well, which is uh, very sort of relevant to our present work life situation, and how we can create balance in our work life using those insights. Yeah.
Wow. Wow, I need to purchase that then, definitely. Do share the link with me also so that I can myself purchase and I would be giving the link also. Now, as you mentioned that in your book you talked about Bhagavad Gita, so could you please tell me that how to draw interference from Bhagavad Gita in our daily life and different psychological perspective, as you were mentioning about psychological terminologies. So could you please tell this?
Yeah. Okay. So, for example, we all have heard about the very famous story of Mahabharata, and we have all have heard about the dialogue where Arjuna and Krishna, they are on the battlefield and they have a small dialogue, right? So it's very famous. We all have heard about this short story. So taking taking a very deep analysis from there itself, I would like to answer your question. And that is, if we talk about this small dialogue between Arjuna and Krishna, where Arjuna says that I am just not very confident to be on the battlefield just because all of my relatives and uncles are there. And what will this serve me? So Arjuna has a thought in the mind and he says that what is the motive? What is the objective? Why we are actually doing this? Why we are even here on the battlefield? Because what will exactly serve to this? So he was very confused at the moment that why are we doing this exactly? And then we have a dialogue where actually Krishna starts speaking. So if you actually read the initial verses of the Bhagavad Gita or the initial chapters, only Arjuna is speaking, which means only Arjuna is portrayed as a character or as a symbol of representation where he's very confused, very distressed, like we are in our lives. We are confused, we are distressed, maybe not at all point in time, but at certain point in time. For example, if I have to make a job change, I have to get married, I am confused, I am distressed, what will happen, what will not happen. So all of these things also happen in our life. Now how do we take inferences is when Krishna starts speaking. So when if you read the initial verses of the chapter, you will see that the initial verses completely focus on the state of mind of Arjuna. Only when the Krishna starts speaking in the third chapter, that is where the insight starts coming into the life of Arjuna. And according to this, as we know, the famous story tells you that you have to keep on doing your actions and never stop, because only then we can form a cycle of karma, and this is what is important in our life. So drawing an inference from there as well, again I would say that I would always recommend everybody to go and have some insights and read the book or the Bhagavad Gita specifically. So it will give you a little insight into how to manage your life as well.
Yes, yes. And we have almost reached the last stage. So what would be your opinion or your suggestion for the viewers?
Yeah, so my recommendation or suggestion would be that it is always important for our brain also to learn some new things. So like for example, I'll just share my experience in brief, because we don't have much time. So I when I thought of psychology long back, if I talk about, let's say, maybe 6 years back, 7 years back, so it seemed very new to me. But then eventually I thought that okay, let's try to figure out something different. So every time when I think in my mind that okay, now this is what I can do, or this could be the full stop for me is what I can say. But then every time something comes in my life by accident or by chance, and then I land up learning something different also. So this gives me a small personal experience that I would also like to share with you and recommend you, that give your time to learn something new in your life, so that you also will be very amazed by your ability, by your skills, that okay, you can do this also in life, you can do that also in life. So when you learn something new, when you create your own, you broaden your arena of working, that's the point in time when you actually start flourishing and blooming, is what I have also felt in my personal experience. So that would be one of my recommendations to everyone.
Okay, okay. So I hope our viewers have got a clarity on what exactly is calmness, or how exactly how to achieve that sort of state of mind, as our guest Pavitra said, that to learn something new. So thank you so much, Pavitra, from the bottom of my
Thank
heart
you.
that you came up. I know that you are quite busy, but still. So thank you, Pavitra, and thank you to all the viewers who have been watching this or who would be watching the recorded of us. And if you feel that you want to get in connection with Pavitra, I would be linking her the number, like all the social media links and her contact number. And definitely, I won't forget to link her book details so that you all can purchase. At least I am on the verge of purchasing. So again, thank you so much, Pavitra, for coming up and speaking about Bhagavad Gita.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you.